Drag Race UK versus the World Season 1 was a mess, a travesty, a farce, to put it nicely and kindly. And I just did a recap of the entire season, including how I would have fixed it, starting with casting and how I would have made it just an overall more effective season. So today I'm going to be simulating that season because I've been enjoying the hell out of doing these Drag Race simulators and posting them here. So that's what we're going to be doing. Over the last several videos that I've done, I've been really trying to hammer out the format, and I think I may finally have it down. I busted out my spreadsheet on my Mac, so this battle station is fully operational. Before we get into this, please make sure to subscribe if you have not already. Click that little button there below. Without further stalling, let's meet our cast, which I just talked about in the previous video. So I wanted to make this globe friendly, and I wanted to make this truly versus the world. So we have Coco Montrese from the US, Heidi and Closet from the US, Jimbo from Canada, Scarlett Bobo from Canada, Vandamis Joachim from Thailand, Jeannie from Thailand, Sedergine from Holland, Kita Minaj from Holland too, Cheryl from Drag Race UK, Tace from the UK, Anita Wiglet from Down Under, and Inti from España. In a perfect world, I would have also included maybe Art and Ugasio, but I feel like maybe that would have been a little too inflated of a season for Art to be here, and I don't know if Ugasio speaks any English. And of course, normal All-Stars rules apply. I will be doing my own judging on the side as I have been every single time, and just letting y'all know what I think maybe would have happened and who I think would have maybe gotten sniped out, but because it's lip sync for your legacy, it's so hard to know. And a lot of these girls very likely didn't know each other and had no connection, so they were just making snap judgments about who did what in the competition, but they were also playing a little more aggressively like they were in All-Stars 2. So it's hard to say what would happen, but I'm gonna do my best to figure it out. Going with the flow of the original season, the very first challenge is going to be a talent show. We're gonna go ahead and just randomize all of the relationships in the room because I think that makes the most sense. They do a reading challenge, which I think would be terrible for the format of this. And then we have all of our performances. So let me just initially say, from talent show perspective, queens like Coco have the most potential here to do something really banger. I would assume that this far in to the franchise, they would be able to greenlight the Janet thing that she wanted to do in All-Stars 2, and I think that would turn the party. I think that Kita obviously is very good at a talent show, but if she does what she did in season 2 of Versus the World, it'd be kind of mid. I think that Sedergine would do like a Jimbo level of psychoticness that I think would blow Rue away. I feel like a lot of the queens that I'm looking at here, I'm already kind of predicting what they would do and what kind of would happen in a scenario like that. Going on my personal tastes and not RuPaul's, where I know that Rue would favor what Jimbo did, my personal preference I think would probably be more leaning towards someone like Sedergine. And honestly, I think that Coco would do so good and would have the story potential to be the best in the room since she didn't get to do this talent show the first time around. My initial thoughts are that someone like Heidi would try to maybe capitalize on the sight gag at the Gap, and maybe that wouldn't be as funny as she maybe would intend it to. I don't really see Jeannie knocking out a talent show because, I mean, I think there are a couple things that she could do, but Jeannie's thing is runway. And I think that's where Jeannie really excels. I was not super blown away by Cheryl's performance, and I think that her runway was also not stunning and spectacular. So I am going to put both Cheryl and Heidi in the bottom because I think whatever Jeannie would wear would probably save her from the bottom 2 potential. And maybe I'm crazy, but I kind of get the impression that Cheryl would be able to make a better story for why she should stick around, and that she deserves to at least try to make some money since she didn't get to win anything in the UK, where Heidi had just come off the show and maybe her package hadn't increased that much. I don't know, because like in All-Stars 8, I think Heidi really knocked it out of the park and was constantly delivering excellence. So who knows, maybe her runway would save her more than it would save Jeannie, but this is also inconsequential. I also just don't know if Inti would do that great, but I feel garbagey putting the only España queen on the chopping block early. I would rather put someone who has somebody else on their team to maybe represent their country. So I think that this kind of locks in for me that Heidi would be the first out. The Drag Race Simulator says that Jimbo and Taste are the top 2 of the week. Which, I mean, Jimbo was top 2 in that original talent show, and I think Rue obviously likes her, so that makes sense. I think Taste would bring down the building. And it says that Cheryl, Jeannie, and Kita are the bottoms. Okay, so it was listening to me, kind of. There's no way that Jimbo would win anything. Not against Taste. The lip sync song is Astronomy by Conan Gray. I don't know. It says that Jimbo had a good lip sync, and I don't believe that. Taste is the winner. Makes sense in my fantasy. I think anybody with eyeballs would know that there's no way that Jimbo would beat Taste. If it did, I would have rage quit the simulator. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. Wait, who went home? What the fuck? Quit? Did I miss something? Was I clicking and didn't notice something? Taste quit? Pfft. Season's canceled. Get it off my TV. The Drag Race sim just ripped my wig off. Okay, work. Our second maxi challenge is a side hustles challenge. We just did this in the last simulator, I feel. I think of this group, side hustles, I think Jimbo's gonna do good. Anita would do well. God, I mean, I think this is very clearly going to be a Jimbo week. I think it's just impossible to look at a side hustles acting / branding challenge and say Jimbo wouldn't do well at that. I think that this is a very clear Coco bottom. Good kind of full circle moment from her first time around where she did bad in that perfume challenge but couldn't be in the bottom because Ivy was so bad, even though they probably wanted Coco and Alyssa to lip sync. I honestly don't really know how Inti would perform in something like this. I also see Scarlett Bobo doing really good in a scenario like this, and I think it would be kind of cool to see both the Canadians be at the top this week. I'm gonna say bottom 2 full circle moments for Coco specifically is that she is going to be in the bottom. I think that Cheryl wouldn't be too great either, and I think that Inti wouldn't be good either. In a lip sync between Jimbo and Scarlett, I mean, it's obviously gonna go to Scarlett Bobo. It's insane to insinuate literally any other scenario. I think that Bobo would be smart about the way that she played the game, and I think she'd be strategic about the way that she played the game. She is not there to make friends, and I don't think she was there to make friends in Canada 1. I think that she would make a big swing and eliminate Coco. So let's see what the simulator says. Our top 2 are Jimbo and Kita. Jimbo makes sense to me because Rue loves her. And then it says Cheryl, Anita, and Inti are the bottoms. The simulator hates Anita Wiglet, I fear. They lip sync to Physical by Dula Pipa. Poor Jimbo, gonna get steamrolled, bodied, left in the mud with her wig on the ground. It's gonna look like it had been dunked in the toilet, like an old lady had barfed on it. I mean, there's no way Kita's not winning this one. If it tells me that Jimbo won it, Kita wins. Good. And she eliminates Cheryl. Poor Cheryl Ole. Second out both times in Drag Race UK versus the world. That's so upsetting. Our next challenge is the Snatch game. Oh crap. So in Versus the World, they like to really fuck up the Snatch game format and turn it into Family Feud style, which I think is stupid as hell. I'm gonna wave a magic wand and say that's not happening. I think Inti is a very clear bottom here. I don't know if her humor would translate very well to Snatch Game, on top of the fact that she never got to do it her first time around. I am a Cheryl apologist and I think she's very funny. I think that she killed her first Snatch Game as Gemma. I think her Snatch Game performance in Canada versus the World 2 was so funny. Rue loves Jimbo. I personally don't connect with her Snatch Game performances that well. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't live for Bobo's Liza. I thought it was not the most successful, and I truly do not think that Jeannie would be good in Snatch Game either. Controversial opinion, I think that Vanda was psychotically hilarious as, who was she, Cardi B in her Snatch Game? I think that Cedrjean has a lot of storyline potential, and I do think that Rue would gravitate towards her drag. I think Rue would get it. So I'm gonna put Cedrjean in the top, and I think Kita's very good at Snatch Game too. Well, she did bad in the family version. Maybe she'd be in the bottom too. I'm gonna strongly suggest that the bottom 3 would be Jeannie, Kita, and Inti. And I don't see Taste doing very well either. I think Anita is a shoo-in for the top 2 because she was the definitive winner of her Snatch game. I'm gonna give the win to Anita here. I think that she would win in a lip sync against Jean. And I think of the people that she would be able to choose for the bottom, she's a really congenial person. So I think she would be weighing out all of her options. Who is representing what? I think she would see that Inti was the only España queen. I think that she would see that Kita and Jeannie both had someone else that was there that could represent their country. I think I want to say in my heart, my soul, and my whole that it would be Jeannie. I think she makes the most sense to be out at this point. Let's go to the simulator. It says our top 2 is Heidi and Kita. Gag, because Heidi I think was quite bad in Snatch Game both times around, and Jimbo is just safe. Let's give the girl a break. She needs to not be in the top. It says that Jeannie, Vanda, and Coco are the bottoms. If Coco was still here in my universe, she definitely would have taken that bottom spot. And Vanda is safe. Thank Jesus, the Lord, the saints, the Catholics, Mary, and all of them. The lip sync song is Focus by Charlie XCX. Heidi wins and chooses to send home Jeannie. So, you know what? The simulator and I we're connected tonight. Kita reveals that she also chose Jeannie's lipstick as well, so I think that's interesting. Our next maxi is the supermarket ball. Oh, poor Heidi in closet. And it's the same categories from All Stars 8. Okay, so I'm gonna be vulnerable here. Heidi really did the thing for me that time, but she's not here in this world. Based off of construction skills, I think that Bobo is a very clear top placement for me. Anita has a lot of potential to prove herself as someone who's grown from her season with sewing since she went out on an unconventional challenge. Even though I don't think that she was the worst, I see her as being someone that producers would be like, well, you know, just to blah, 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 you know, whatever dumb bullshit excuse they would give. Tace is not a good seamstress at all, so her sewn look wouldn't be good. Did they have a ball in UK too? I don't think they had a ball. But her looks are always strong, so I think even though Tace doesn't sew well, I don't think she would be like the bottom. Cheryl, I think, turned out the Versus the World ball, but they do not like Cheryl's designs either, so I think it's the UK girls in the bottom with Anita. Unless I can make a justification for somebody else being in the bottom, I'm gonna give Inti a break and get my foot off of her neck this week. I think that Jimbo has good construction skills and obviously was in the top that week of the supermarket ball. It's funny that Jimbo's here too. And Heidi would have been here. I think Heidi's in the simulator version. And I think Kita is really good at a ball as well. I'm going to put Kita and Bobo as the top 2. I think that Jimbo would give a pretty good package as well. I'm gonna give the win to Bobo, and I'm gonna put Kita in the top with her. And then the bottoms, I think, are going to be Anita and then the UK girls. And even though I live for Cheryl, I don't think that she would perform well in this particular ball. She was in the bottom during the Canada ball as well. So I think in my mind, this is Cheryl's out point, which is upsetting because I like Cheryl from Essex. I think she's brilliant. Yeah, that's what I'm sticking to. Let's go get gaslit. Our top 2 of the week is Jean and Kita. I love the Holland girls being in the top with Jimbo being high safe. Also makes sense. Coco, Bobo, and Heidi are the bottoms. Heidi had an excellent package during the supermarket ball, so this is not only insane, but lunacy. And Coco is safe. Our lip sync song is Almost Love by Sabrina Carpenter. Ooh, that's a good song. I see Jean ripping the stage in half on this song. The belts in that song are so good. If y'all don't know that song, you need to look it up. She is not just Espresso and Taste and Juno. Her earlier stuff are bangers. Jean wins and chooses to send home Bobo. Gag! I truly think that Bobo would do good. I mean, she did great in her ball, and I don't see her landing in the bottom of Gestures Vaguely this group. But hey, the Holland girls are performing well, and I guess I can't complain about that. I mean, I could, but who cares? Our next maxi challenge is a girl... No! Our next maxi challenge is a girl group to So Much Better Than You from season 4. This is bullshit. Get this out of my face. Out of my face! Out of my face! Girl group wise, Jimbo sucks at girl groups and performing. Jimbo's clearly in the bottom. I'm sorry. I know that this didn't require a lot of dancing, but I already know. Okay, so who are we putting together? I'm gonna guess that the girls are gonna be paired up with people that are different than them. So let's do something interesting here. Let's do a little thought experiment. Bobo is someone who's really conceptual and in her head. That is very polar opposite to someone like Inti, who's sort of like wherever the wind blows. Kita is someone who is really kind of bonkers and crazy and weird. And I almost feel like there's something maniacal about putting Kita with Anita. Different Kita. I'm gonna do it to be crazy. We have Sedergine, who is a lot like these other girls, just kind of crazy. Her concepts are big, campy, theatrical. I think that that is almost to a polar opposite of someone like Tace, who is a little more refined and scaled back. And then Vanda, I think, is a polar opposite to Jimbo. Vanda is more presentational, more pageanty. Jimbo is clown. I think those groups would be the ones that would end up together, and the ones that I think would succeed more than anybody. I think Tace and Sedergine are probably like the silliest. I think they'd be very high. Can I be honest? I think that Bobo and Inti would kind of kill it this week. I could see the way that the two of them perform being able to blend this sort of blasé nature that Inti has and this overly anal retentive thing that Bobo has, and being able to blend those into something that could be very funny. Because it's not only a girl group, but it's also about being funny. That was the whole point of this original challenge. So I'm gonna put them both in the top. And I think of these two, I think Bobo would take the win. And the group, I think, would have the least amount of connection with each other. I think Kita and Anita, well, I don't think they would do great. I see Vanda and Jimbo being the kind of clear bottom too. Vanda is a great performer, and I think she would overshadow Jimbo, where Jimbo is way too funny and I think would out funny Vanda, and they would just, their highlights would, I think, pall their lowlights. So they're both bottoms, I think, in my opinion. And you know what? With Bobo winning the lip sync, I fully see her eliminating Jimbo. I would see her as seeing Jimbo as a threat, and Bobo is there not to make friends but to play the game. I don't think she would see Vanda as someone who's anyone to worry about, because a lot of people looked over Vanda her original season, and I think that that would happen here. I think that Bobo would be in for the game, and I think it would, sisterhood would be out the door. Bobo, like Jimbo, is here to play the game. I think that Jimbo would have been making strategic moves all season, trying to get out contestants like Sedergine and Tace. Bobo, even if she had the opportunity to do so. So I see Bobo acting the same way. Jimbo's out this week, in my mind. Our tops are Anita and Jimbo, and our bottoms are Vanda, Coco, and Sedergine. With Vanda being safe yet again. Oh, I love that my girl is safe all the time. Anita probably is gonna win against Jimbo unless the song is redonkulous. It's Would I Lie to You by Eurythmics. I don't know if I know this song. Bitch, this is Jimbo coded already. Ooh, Jesus, that's a good song. I need to listen to that in its entirety when I'm not recording. Woo! Okay, so Anita wins, makes sense. Jimbo's a terrible lip syncer, and Sedergine is out. Cancel the season. That makes me sad. Our next challenge is an unconventional dumpster diving challenge. So designing, sad that Jimbo is out here because I think she would have done well here. Vanda is not good at sewing. I know that much. And Anita is someone that they don't like when she sews. Kita is, I think, okay at sewing. Tace is bad at sewing, so she's a very clear bottom. I think that Inti is fine. And I think that Sedergine, I don't remember them having to sew anything on Holland 1. I think that Sedergine would be fine. And obviously Bobo is high for me. God, I have to put Tace in the bottom. I have to put Vanda in the bottom. Anita maybe, even though I don't think she's the worst. Actually, you know what? Let's make a swing here. I'm gonna put Inti at the bottom because I think her sewing skills are fine. I think Bobo is clear going to be the winner of this, and I think Sedergine is top as well. And I think from this group, I think it would probably be Inti. She's been in the bottom multiple weeks in a row. They've been holding on to her for a really long time in this universe. I think Inti's the very clear out. It's almost like a Gothy Kendall at this point, or a Jujubee, where it's like, please, just send her home. Even though she just won last week, it's always kind of sad to see her go. But I love Inti, and I hope that we do get to see her at some point in the future. I heard she was a shoo-in for Global and they axed her last minute because something about the English test. So let's go find out what the simulator is saying, and I forgot that Coco Montrese is still here. Rue asks again who should go home. I think this is the second time this season. Says that Heidi and Jimbo are the top 2 of the week. I think that Jimbo's sewing skills are strong, and I think she would be high. It says that Inti and Coco and Anita are the bottoms. The Drag Race judges hate Anita Wiglet, so I mean, I guess it makes sense to me. The lip sync song is Arrasando by Thalia. What is this song? It's in Spanish. Thinking about Heidi and Jimbo lip syncing to a song in Spanish is kind of sinister and dark-sided in a way that I wasn't prepared for emotionally and mentally today. It's no! Inti goes home. Oh, I don't want to be here anymore. Our next challenge is the Makeover challenge. This is really not only about fashion, but it's also about branding. Bobo was in the top during her Makeover challenge. At least I'm pretty sure she was. I didn't love what she did. I don't think Bobo has a brand that you can stamp on somebody else really spectacularly. I don't think that Taste has that either. And obviously Vanda was in the bottom during hers, but I think she would have grown from that moment quite a bit. I think her storyline was good, it was just the execution wasn't. I mean, a lot of the people that are left on my side are people that I don't think would be very good at a Makeover challenge. In my fantasy, what I would like to happen here would be Vanda learns from her original time in the Makeover challenge, because again, I think she had a strong concept. She's obviously grown and understands her aesthetic better now and her brand now. And yeah, you could argue that for a lot of these other girls, but I just see it being different here for some of these others because I'm thinking about their brand and how they would put that on somebody else. Cedrigine, I could totally see doing like a Miss Piggy Kermit makeover, and that would be so funny to see. I think she would be in the top. And then I'm gonna say, just based off of brand image, that Anita Taste would be in the bottom because Taste is not a good seamstress, and that very rarely ends up being a skill that they develop. And depending on what makeover they got, they would have to do some seamstressing in order to adjust the costume to them. I feel like she has the weakest brand to put on someone else. She's a dancer and she's fierce. And we've seen that not really translate well to other contestants. So between Taste and Anita, Taste has more bottoms without any wins, where at least Anita has a singular win. So I see Taste as being the out here. On to the sim. Vanda and Anita are the top 2, period. And Coco, Heidi, and Kita are in the bottom. I keep forgetting that Coco is here. How is she still here? The song is Get Out of My Way by Kylie Minogue. Ugh, what a good song. I just came a little bit. Vanda wins the lip sync. I'm so glad that we are in tandem today, and Coco Montrese is out. Normally I'm so off with this Drag Race sim. Our final maxi before the finale, a choreography challenge to You Wear It Well. I am so over this song. Thailand 3 destroyed this song for me when I had to sit through that ball for 15 minutes and hear an extended cut of You Wear It Well on loop. I hate this song. Remix wise, I think Vanda's gonna kill it. I think that Bobo is gonna kill it. I think that Kita would kill it. In my fantasy, I think the top 2 would be Vanda and Bobo. And I think Bobo, hold up, because I think Bobo would lose in a lip sync to Vanda. Vanda wins this one for me. And then the bottoms, I think this is the only acceptable time where if you're not in the top, you're in the bottom, because it's like the finale, right? The penultimate challenge. Vanda would play the game strategically, but also softly. I think that Vanda would think, who do I want to go against in the finale? I think she would want to go against Cedrigine. I think she would want to go against Kita. I cannot see her wanting to go against Anita. So I'm gonna say that Anita would be out here, and this would be her final song, her last dance. And the simulator says, Jimbo and Anita are the top 2 of the week. Vanda, Kita, and Heidi are the bottoms, with Vanda being safe yet again. I want to kiss the RNG right now, like right on the nose. Just thank you for keeping Vanda safe. The lip sync song is Star by Luna. Now hold up. Is this Korean? kind of just worked my pussy out. I mean, Anita is gonna win that one. If it tells me that Jimbo won this one, I'm gonna scream. Jimbo won? No way! Never. That's garbage. It does say that they chose Kita to go home. I guess I understand. Makes sense. Poor Kita getting sniped out before the finale. Both times she was on Drag Race, but at least she made it further this time than she did in UK versus the World 2. Kita's a star. She's good at literally everything. I didn't really give her as many wins as I probably could have, but there weren't a lot of acting or improv challenges like there were in her season. She's very good at improv. So we're going into the finale where our Miss Congeniality is crowned as Heidi, and then our top 4 have to participate in a lip sync smackdown for the crown. It's gonna be Vanda versus Jimbo. By Jimbo. And Heidi versus Anita. I couldn't tell you which way that wind's gonna blow. Okay, so from my end, my top 4 are Vanda, Bobo, Sedergine, and Kita. I think if we were to put like Vanda and Sedergine together, like if I'm rigging this for my favorite, right? Vanda is going to go to round 2. And if it's Bobo versus Kita, I think that both of them are great lip syncers, but I think that Kita is better. So my final 2 would be Vanda and Kita. Personally, I would give the win to Vanda. And I don't know, I mean, Vanda's just it to me. I'm a big fan. I think I gave her the win in the last simulator that I did that I featured Vanda in. I just think she's really good. I think in a more realistic universe, the finale group would probably be Rue Girls. I do not see any of these girls here. Actually, that's a lie. I think that the finale girls in the original Versus the World season would have probably been like, of this group, it would have been probably Coco, Heidi, Cheryl, and Anita. They would have made so many justifications to get them to the end because the Rue Girls always seem to get the producer push. I wonder why. I wonder if the head producer is RuPaul, who's already met these girls and likes them. But what I enjoy about this is that we've got double Holland representation, Canada representation, Thailand representation. I would have maybe like in a fair world, I would have pushed Anita to the next round and sniped out like Sedergine just to get a real Versus the World finale and a finale lip sync. But in this universe, I do appreciate that there is a little more representation of the world rather than just the Rue Girls. So it says in this lip sync smackdown, which is so clearly set up that Jimbo's going home, the lip sync song is Sneaker Night by Vanessa Hudgens. She's got better songs than that. Vanda wins. Who's surprised? Who went, everyone's mouth stayed shut. And then Anita had a bad lip sync and Heidi had a flop lip sync to Believe by Cher. This feels very Anita coded to me. Like I feel like she would do well in that. Heidi is the one who sachets away. And then it goes to Love Sensation by Lolita Holloway. And it's between Vanda Miss Joachim and Anita Wiglet, which I mean, I think Vanda is probably one of the best lip syncers in the entire Drag Race universe. She's one of the better ones. Probably next to someone like, ooh, I would put her up there with like Vanjie. I'd put her up there with Nira. I would love to see her and Nira go head to head. That would be hot. I think Latrice is a great lip syncer. There's some great ones that are up there. And the winner of the entire thing, hopefully it lines up with Vanda, is in fact Anita Wiglet. To Miss Joachim? Oh, I'm not gonna recover from that one. Oh, I'm okay. I promise that I'm okay. That is psychotic. No, never. Whew. Hold on, wait, let's look at the track record. Does it justify it? Anita was bottom, 1 win, 2 other wins, another bottom. Vanda was safe a lot, only had 1 win, high. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. I love this. This is so crazy. That was nuts. Vanda should have won. Vanda was robbed in the simulator, but she won in my universe, which is the one I'm gonna count more than anything. Oh, who would you have liked to have seen in the first Drag Race Versus the World? And who do you think would have won that season from your dream wish list? And who do you want to see in a future one? Thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to check out my Drag Race podcast as well as the previous Versus the World video that I created. And in the meantime, I will see y'all on the flip.